The calm before the storm. The great council chamber of the Zephyron Empire was filled with loud voices. 20 alien commanders sat around a massive black table. Their skin was dark blue and their eyes glowed red with anger. They were the most powerful military leaders in the galaxy. The humans must pay, shouted Commander Vexthor. He slammed his fist on the table. They destroyed our mining colony on Kepler 9. We cannot let this insult stand. The other commanders roared in agreement. Their voices echoed through the metal walls, but one old warrior sat quietly in the corner. His name was General Crone. He had fought in 100 wars. His face was covered with scars. He said nothing. He just watched and listened. "How many ships do we have ready?" asked Supreme Commander Zaltek. He was the leader of the Zephyron military. His voice was cold and sharp like ice. 10,000 warships, my lord," answered a young officer. "Our fleet is the largest ever assembled. Each ship carries enough weapons to destroy a planet." The commanders laughed. They felt confident. They felt powerful. "And the humans?" asked Zaltek. "How many ships do they have?" The young officer checked his data screen. "Our scouts report 47 ships, sir." Silence filled the room, then loud laughter exploded from every commander. 47? Vexthor could barely speak through his laughter. "They send 47 ships against our 10,000? Are they insane?" "They are weak," shouted another commander. "This will not be a battle. This will be a massacre. We will crush them in minutes," said a third commander. But General Crone did not laugh. He stood up slowly. His old bones creaked. Everyone stopped talking and looked at him. "You should not laugh," Crone said in a quiet voice. "Why not, old one?" asked Vexthor. "Are you afraid of 47 human ships?" "I have fought humans before," Crone said. His voice was serious. 30 years ago, on the borders of the Crimson Sector. "And?" Zaltek asked. "We had 5,000 ships. They had 200 ships." Crone paused. His eyes looked far away, remembering. "We lost." The room went silent again. But this time, no one laughed. "That was a long time ago," Zaltek said. "We are stronger now. Our weapons are better. Our ships are faster." "Maybe," Crone said. "But humans, they do not fight like us. They do not follow the rules of war. They use tricks. They use strategies we cannot predict. They fight like demons when cornered." "Enough!" Zaltek stood up. "I do not care about old stories. We attack tomorrow. We will destroy the human fleet. We will teach them to fear the Zephyron Empire." All the commanders cheered except Crone. He sat back down and closed his eyes. Far across the galaxy, in the dark space near the Orion Nebula, 47 human ships floated silently. They were old ships. Their metal hulls were scratched and dented. Some had burn marks from previous battles. They did not look impressive. They did not look dangerous. On the bridge of the flagship, Admiral Sarah Chen stood with her hands behind her back. She was a small woman, only 5 feet tall. Her hair was gray. Her face was calm. She looked at the stars through the big window. "Admiral," said Lieutenant Marcus Webb. He was young, maybe 25 years old. His hands were shaking slightly. "The Zephyron fleet is approaching. Sensors show 10,000 ships." The other crew members on the bridge looked nervous. Some whispered to each other. They all knew the odds. 10,000, Admiral Chen said softly. She smiled a little. "They really want to make a statement." "Ma'am," Webb said, "should we call for backup?" "The third fleet is only 2 days away." "No," Chen said. She turned to face her crew. Her dark eyes were steady and strong. "We don't need backup, but Admiral..." "Lieutenant Webb, how long have you been in the Space Navy?" 6 months, ma'am." "Then you have never seen what these ships can really do." She walked to her command chair and sat down. "You have never seen Protocol Omega." Webb swallowed hard. He had heard stories about Protocol Omega in the Academy, but everyone said those stories were just legends, just myths to scare enemy forces. "All ships," Chen spoke into her communication system. "This is Admiral Chen. Report status." One by one, the 47 ship captains responded. "Ship 2 ready. Ship 5 ready. Ship 12 ready." All 47 ships were ready. Chen pressed a button on her chair. A holographic display appeared in the air. It showed the enemy fleet approaching like a swarm of angry insects. "They will be here in 30 minutes, said Webb. "Good," Chen said. "Plenty of time." "Time for what, ma'am?" Chen looked at him with that small smile again. Time to prepare Protocol Omega. Webb's face went pale. You're serious? We're actually going to use it? They killed 8,000 colonists on Kepler 9, Lieutenant. Men, women, and children. They bombed hospitals and schools. Her voice became hard as steel. Yes, we are going to use it. She stood up and walked to the window again. The enemy fleet was now visible in the distance. Thousands of tiny lights moving closer. It looked like a wall of death approaching. Ma'am, Webb asked quietly, are we going to survive this? Admiral Chen turned and looked at her young lieutenant. Then she looked at all her crew. They were all watching her, waiting for her words. Listen to me, all of you, she said loudly. Today the Zephyr Empire thinks they will destroy us. They think 47 ships cannot stand against 10,000. They think we are weak. She paused. They are wrong. Her voice grew stronger. They do not know what humanity is capable of. They do not know that we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for every human colony in this sector. We are fighting for our children, for our future. The crew sat up straighter. In 30 minutes they will attack us. And in 30 minutes they will learn the most important lesson in the galaxy. What lesson, Admiral? Webb asked. Admiral Chen's smile grew wider. Her eyes blazed with determination. Never, ever underestimate humanity. The bridge erupted in cheers. Outside the ship, the Zephyr fleet came closer and closer. 10,000 warships moving in perfect formation. They looked unstoppable. But Admiral Chen just stood there, calm and ready. She pressed one more button. All ships. Activate Protocol Omega. Authorization Chen Alpha 77. On every human ship deep in their engine rooms, something began to wake up. Something powerful. Something the galaxy had never seen before. The Zephyr fleet was now 10 minutes away. Admiral Chen sat in her chair and waited. The war was about to begin, but this would not be the war the Zephrons expected. Not at all. The first strike, the Zephyr fleet moved through space like a dark cloud of death. 10,000 warships stretched across the starfield for hundreds of miles. Their engines glowed bright purple. Their weapons were charging, ready to fire. On the command ship, Supreme Commander Zaltek sat on his throne. He watched the human fleet on his main screen. 47 small ships floating in space. They looked so tiny, so helpless. They are not even moving, said Commander Vexthor. He laughed. Look at them. They are frozen with fear. Maybe they know they cannot win, said another commander. Maybe they are waiting to surrender. Humans do not surrender, General Crone said quietly from the back of the bridge. But no one listened to him. All ships, Zaltek spoke into his communicator. Prepare to fire. We will destroy them all at once. Let this be a message to every human colony in the galaxy. Yes, my lord. Thousands of voices answered. The Zephyr fleet stopped moving. They were now only 20 miles away from the human ships. Close enough to see them clearly. Close enough to destroy them completely. Fire all weapons, Zaltek shouted. 10,000 ships fired at the same moment. The space between the two fleets exploded with light. Thousands of missiles launched. Bright red laser beams cut through the darkness. Plasma cannons shot balls of burning energy. Everything flew toward the 47 human ships. It was the most powerful attack ever launched in galactic history. The Zephyr commanders cheered. They knew the humans were finished, but then something strange happened. The missiles stopped moving. The lasers froze in mid-space. The plasma balls hung in the air like burning stars. Everything just stopped. What? Vexthor stood up from his chair. What is happening, sir? Shouted a young officer. All our weapons have stopped. They are not moving forward. That is impossible, Zaltek yelled. Check the systems. Systems are fine, sir. The weapons launched correctly, but something is stopping them. On the screen, thousands of weapons floated in space between the two fleets. They were frozen like insects in ice. Not moving forward, not moving backward, just frozen. General Crone stood up. His face was pale. No, he whispered. They have technology we do not understand. Impossible, Zaltek shouted. No one has technology better than the Zephyr Empire. But Crone was not listening. He was watching the human ships carefully. They were starting to glow. A soft blue light covered each ship. Getting brighter, getting stronger, sir, the young officer screamed. The human ships are powering up something. What are they powering up? Vexthor demanded. I don't know, sir. The energy readings they are off the scale. I have never seen anything like this. On the human flagship, Admiral Chen stood calmly. She looked at the frozen weapons on her screen. Thousands of missiles and lasers hanging in space, unable to move. Phase 1 complete, she said quietly. Lieutenant Webb, activate Phase 2. Yes, ma'am. Webb's fingers flew across his control panel. His fear was gone now. He felt excited. He was watching something incredible. All ships. Chen spoke into her communicator. Release the reverse pulse, now. 47 human ships suddenly glowed bright blue. The light was so strong that it filled all of space around them. Then, the frozen weapons began to move again, but they were not moving toward the human ships. They were turning around. No. Zaltek jumped from his throne. No, they are turning around. Every missile, every laser beam, every plasma ball. They all turned 180 degrees. Now they were pointing back at the Zephron fleet. Shields up. Zaltek screamed, raise all shields now. But it was too late. The weapons flew back at incredible speed, faster than they had been launched. Much faster. The first missile hit a Zephron battleship. The ship exploded in a ball of red fire, then another ship exploded, then 10 ships, then 100 ships. The Zephron fleet's own weapons were destroying them. Explosions filled the space. Red and orange fire bloomed like deadly flowers. Ships broke apart. Metal twisted and melted. Screams filled the communication channels. Admiral Chen watched the destruction calmly. She did not smile. She did not celebrate. She just watched. Damage report on enemy fleet, she said. Webb checked his sensors. His eyes went wide. Admiral, 2,000 enemy ships destroyed. 2,000. In less than 30 seconds! The bridge crew was silent. They could not believe what they had just seen. On the Zephron command ship, chaos filled the bridge. Officers were running everywhere. Screens were flashing red warnings. Smoke came from damaged control panels. Report! Zaltek shouted. His voice was shaking now. How many ships did we lose? The young officer's hands trembled as he read his screen. 2,000 ships destroyed, my lord, and 500 more heavily damaged. Vexthor fell back into his chair. His face was white with shock. How did they do that? General Crone walked slowly to the main screen. He looked at the human ships. They were still glowing blue, still floating calmly in space. They had not moved at all. They used our own weapons against us, Crone said quietly. They turned our strength into our weakness. This is impossible. Zaltek screamed. We still have 8,000 ships. They only have 47. We can still win, can we? Crone turned to face him. We just used our most powerful attack, and they destroyed 2,000 of our ships without firing a single weapon of their own. Then we will attack differently. Zaltek's red eyes blazed with anger. All ships, spread out! Surround them from every direction. They cannot stop all of us if we attack from all sides at once. Sir, the young officer said nervously, maybe we should retreat. Maybe we should retreat? Zaltek grabbed the young officer and lifted him off the ground. The Zephron Empire does not retreat. We are the strongest military force in the galaxy. Not anymore, Crone said softly. Zaltek dropped the young officer and turned to Crone. What did you say? I said not anymore. Crone pointed at the screen. Look at those ships. Look at them carefully. They destroyed 2,000 of our ships and they did not even move. They are not afraid. They are not worried. They are waiting. Waiting for what? For us to make our next mistake. Zaltek's hand moved to his weapon. You are a coward, old one. No, Crone said. I am a survivor, and I know when we are facing an enemy we cannot defeat with traditional tactics. Then what do you suggest? Crone was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I suggest we leave, now, before they show us what their ships can really do. Never. Zaltek turned to his officers. All ships execute Plan Delta. Surround the enemy! Attack from all directions at once. Yes, my lord. The officers responded. The remaining 8,000 Zephron ships began to move. They spread out in a huge circle. They surrounded the 47 human ships completely. North, south, east, west, above, below. The humans were trapped in the middle. On the human flagship, Lieutenant Webb watched the enemy ships spreading out. Admiral, they are surrounding us. We are completely trapped. Admiral Chen nodded slowly. Just as I expected. Ma'am. She turned to face him. "Lieutenant, do you know why predators surround their prey? To make sure it cannot escape?" "Exactly," Chen said. She pressed a button on her chair. "But these predators made one mistake." "What mistake, Admiral?" Chen's eyes were cold and hard. "They assumed we are the prey." She spoke into her communicator. "All ships. They have taken the bait. Execute Phase 3. Release the ghosts." Webb's mouth dropped open. "The ghosts? Admiral, that technology is still experimental. We have never used it in real combat. There is a first time for everything, Lieutenant." She looked at the screen. "Let us teach them what fear really means." On every human ship, a new system activated. Something that had been tested in secret laboratories. Something that no other species in the galaxy possessed. Something terrifying. The 47 human ships began to shimmer, like heat waves in a desert, like reflections on water. Then, each ship began to split. One ship became 2 ships. 2 ships became 4. 4 ships became 8. The Zephron commanders watched in horror as the human ships multiplied. 47 ships became 500 ships, then 5,000 ships, then 50,000 ships. They filled the entire space around the Zephron fleet. Identical ships everywhere, all looking exactly the same, all glowing blue. "Which ones are real?" Vexthor screamed. No one answered, because no one knew. Admiral Chen smiled for the first time. "Now," she said quietly, "let the real battle begin." The Ghost Protocol. The Zephron commanders stared at their screens in complete shock. 50,000 human ships surrounded them. The ships looked identical. They moved in perfect formation. They all glowed with the same blue light. "This is not possible," Commander Vexthor shouted, his voice cracked with panic. "How can 47 ships become 50,000? "Are they real?" asked another commander. "Or are they holograms?" "Scan them," ordered Supreme Commander Zaltek. "Scan every ship. Find out which ones are real." The young officer's fingers flew across his control panel. Sweat dripped down his blue face. "Sir, the scanners show they all appear real. Every single ship has the same energy signature." "That is impossible." "I know, sir. But that is what the sensors are telling us." General Crone stood in the corner watching everything. His old eyes were tired. He had seen many battles in his life, but he had never seen anything like this. "They are not holograms," Crone said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. "Then what are they?" Zaltek demanded. "Ghosts," Crone said. "The humans call this technology Ghost Protocol. I heard rumors about it years ago, but I thought it was just a story." "Explain." Zaltek walked toward him. "What is this Ghost Protocol?" Crone took a deep breath. "The human ships create copies of themselves. Perfect copies. Each copy has its own energy field, its own heat signature. To our sensors, they all look real. But they cannot all be real." Vexthor shouted. "Matter cannot be created from nothing." "You are right," Crone said. "Most of them are not real. They are advanced projections, but..." He paused. "Some of them are real. How many? We do not know. That is the point. We cannot tell which ships are real and which are ghosts. If we fire at them, we waste our ammunition on empty projections. But if we do not fire, the real ships will destroy us." Silence filled the command bridge. Then Zaltek laughed. It was a cold, harsh laugh. "It does not matter. We still have 8,000 real warships. They only have 47 real ships. We will fire at everything. We will destroy every ghost and every real ship." "Sir," the young officer said nervously, "we do not have enough ammunition to fire at 50,000 targets." "Then fire at random targets." "Fire now!" The Zephron fleet opened fire. Thousands of weapons shot in every direction. Missiles flew toward the ghost ships. Lasers cut through space. Plasma cannons roared. The ghost ships began to explode. One by one, they disappeared in flashes of blue light. But no debris fell. No metal pieces floated away. The ships just vanished. "Holograms," Vexthor shouted. "They are just holograms." "Keep firing!" More ghost ships disappeared. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. But for every ghost that disappeared, the real human ships were getting closer. On the human flagship, Admiral Chen watched the Zephron fleet wasting their ammunition. She watched them panic. She watched them fire at empty space. "They are taking the bait perfectly," she said to Lieutenant Webb. "Admiral, we have lost 3,000 ghost projections. but all 47 real ships are still intact. Good. How much ammunition has the enemy used? Webb checked his screen. Approximately 60%, ma'am. Excellent. Chen pressed a button. All ships, prepare for Phase 4. Target lock on all enemy command vessels. Yes, Admiral. 47 voices responded. Ma'am, Webb asked. What is Phase 4? Admiral Chen turned to him. Her face was serious. Phase 4 is when we stop playing games, Lieutenant. Phase 4 is when we show them what our ships can really do. She stood up and walked to the main window. Outside, the battle raged. Explosions filled the darkness. The Zephron fleet was firing wildly in every direction. Deactivate all ghost projections, Chen ordered. Ma'am, you heard me. Turn them off. All of them. Webb hesitated for only a second. Then he pressed the buttons. Ghost projections deactivating. Now. In an instant, 50,000 ghost ships vanished. They disappeared like smoke in the wind. Only 47 ships remained. The Zephron commanders stared at their screens in stunned silence. They are gone, Vexthor whispered. All the ghost ships are gone. Where are the real ships? Zaltek demanded. Find them. Sir, the young officer said slowly. According to sensors, there are no human ships in the area. What? They are gone, sir. All of them. The sensors show nothing. General Krone's eyes went wide. He understood. No, he said. They are not gone. They are invisible. Invisible? Zaltek turned to him. Ships cannot turn invisible. Human ships can. Krone walked to the main screen. While we were distracted by the ghosts, they activated their stealth technology. They are still here, all around us. We just cannot see them. For the first time, fear showed on Zaltek's face. If they are invisible, then they could attack from anywhere. Yes, Krone said quietly, and we would never see it coming. The Zephron fleet floated in space. 8,000 ships waiting, watching, but seeing nothing. The commanders held their breath. Then on the left side of the fleet, 3 Zephron battleships exploded. No warning, no missiles, no lasers. They just exploded in balls of fire. Attack from the left. Zaltek screamed. Fire to the left! 1,000 ships turned and fired to the left. But they hit nothing. Only empty space. Then on the right side, 5 more ships exploded. To the right. Fire to the right! Ships turned and fired to the right, but again, they hit nothing. Then explosions came from above. Then from below. Then from behind. The human ships were everywhere and nowhere. They struck like ghosts, silent, deadly, invisible. One by one, Zephron ships exploded. The commanders could not see their enemy. They could not fight back. They could only watch as their fleet was torn apart. How many ships have we lost? Zaltek's voice was shaking now. The young officer could barely speak. 4,000 ships destroyed, sir. We are down to 4,000 ships remaining. Half our fleet, Vexthor said in shock. They have destroyed half our fleet, and we have not hit a single human ship. Admiral Chen stood on her bridge, watching the destruction through her window. But she could not see her own fleet. They were invisible even to her. Damage report, she said calmly. All ships report 0 damage, Admiral. Webb replied. The enemy has not hit us once. Casualties? 0 casualties, ma'am. Chen nodded. Good. How much longer can we maintain stealth mode? Another 10 minutes, Admiral. That is more than enough time. She pressed her communicator. All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Continue precision strikes. Target their weapon systems and engines. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Ma'am? Webb looked confused. Why not destroy them? We have them beaten. Chen looked at him. Because, Lieutenant, we are not here to commit genocide. We are here to send a message. What message? That humanity can defend itself. That we are not weak, but also that we are not monsters. She paused. If we destroy their entire fleet, they will come back with a larger fleet. They will want revenge. But if we defeat them and then show mercy, they will fear us and respect us. Webb understood. You want them to go home and tell everyone what happened here? Exactly. On the Zephron command ship, panic had turned into chaos. Officers were screaming. Alarms were blaring. Smoke filled the air from damaged systems. Sir, the young officer shouted. Enemy communication incoming. What? Zaltek grabbed his chair to steady himself. They are contacting us? Yes, sir. Audio only. Put it through. The bridge went silent. Then a calm female voice filled the room. It was Admiral Chen. Zephyr Fleet, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Human Defense Force. You have attacked our colony. You have killed our people. You came here expecting an easy victory. Zaltek said nothing. He just listened. But you were wrong, Chen continued. You're now down to 4,000 ships. We have destroyed 6,000 of your vessels. And we have not lost a single ship. Not one. General Crone closed his eyes. He knew what was coming. I am going to give you one chance, Chen said. One chance to survive. Are you listening? Yes, Zaltek said quietly. His pride was broken. His confidence was gone. I am listening. Your weapon systems are now offline. Your communication arrays are jammed. You cannot call for help. You cannot fight back. You are completely at our mercy. Zaltek looked at his screens. She was right. Most of his ships showed red warnings. Weapons offline. Communications disabled. Engines damaged. I could destroy all 4,000 of your remaining ships right now, Chen said. It would take me less than 5 minutes. But I am not going to do that. Zaltek's eyes narrowed. Why not? Because I want you to go home, Commander Zaltek. I want you to return to your homeworld. I want you to stand before your council. And I want you to tell them exactly what happened here today. You know my name? We know everything about you, Commander. We have been watching your fleet for weeks. We knew you were coming. We were ready. Vexthor fell to his knees. It was a trap, he whispered. This whole thing was a trap. Tell your leaders, Chen continued, that humanity does not want war. We never wanted war. But if you bring war to us, we will end it. Decisively. Do you understand? Zaltek swallowed hard. His throat was dry. Yes, I understand. Good. I am releasing your communication systems now. You may call your homeworld. You may request transport for your damaged ships. But Commander, her voice became ice cold. If your empire attacks any human colony again, we will not be so merciful next time. The communication ended. Silence filled the Zephron bridge. Then, slowly, the human ships became visible again. 47 ships appeared out of nowhere surrounding the crippled Zephron fleet. They did not fire. They just floated there, watching, waiting. General Crone walked to the window. He looked at the human ships. So small, so few, but so deadly. I tried to warn you, he said to Zaltek. I tried to tell you that humans were dangerous. Zaltek said nothing. He just stared at the human ships with empty eyes. What do we do now? Vexthor asked weakly. Crone turned away from the window. We do what the human admiral said. We go home. We tell our leaders what happened. And we pray they are smart enough to never attack humanity again. On the human flagship, Admiral Chen returned to her command chair. She looked tired now. The battle was over. They had won, but she felt no joy. Admiral, Webb said, all enemy ships are retreating. They are leaving the sector. Good. She closed her eyes for a moment. Any casualties on our side? None, ma'am. Not a single injury. And the enemy? Approximately 30,000 Zephron personnel killed, ma'am. 50,000 injured, but 200,000 survivors are escaping in the damaged ships. Chen nodded slowly. 30,000 dead. It was a huge number, but it could have been worse. Much worse. Send a message to Earth Command, she said. Tell them the mission is complete. The Zephron Empire has been neutralized. Yes, ma'am. Chen stood up and looked out at the stars. The enemy fleet was disappearing into the distance. Small dots of light, growing smaller and smaller. Do you think they learned their lesson, Admiral? Webb asked. Chen was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I hope so, Lieutenant. I really hope so. But deep in her heart, she knew the truth. This war was over, but another war would come eventually. It always did.